Hi, everyone. Hi, y'all. Or should I say all y'all? It's a wonderful opportunity, and thank you, John, for this opportunity to address the Loyola University Music Industry Studies program. I've had a distinct pleasure of going around to some of your studios, and I want to tell you guys what an incredible opportunity you've got. It really is fantastic, and you should be so lucky and proud. It's a really wonderful business, the music industry. I've been in it for a long time. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunities that you guys have had in terms of music. There were no music courses in South Africa, in Cape Town, so I went straight into the School of Hard Knocks. I think that the one thing that drives everybody here is, of course, the passion of music. We all love music, otherwise we'd all be doing something else. This is not exactly the business where your parents say, go into the music business so you can have something to fall back on. That doesn't happen very often. I think that once you're in it, it's like the most beautiful drug in the world. You'll stay in it for the rest of your lives. I wanted to thank John for inviting me to this program, and of course to Maggie and Alton as well, and to Lynn. This all started a couple of years ago in another little city in the States, in Austin, South by Southwest. We sat down 2 years ago and tried to put this wonderful idea together. It's finally coming together. So just to give you just a little idea of what Midem is actually. Midem is, as John said, it's the largest global trade show in the world that addresses music. It's in the beautiful city of Cannes in the south of France where the film festival takes place. It is 5 days of absolute networking opportunity. There are 5 distinct areas of Midem, and it kind of focuses it all. It carries over all aspects of the music industry. I'm going to start this little PowerPoint right now, if I can find it. And right, this is the new logo, okay. So this is what it is basically. It is an idea, an opportunity to swap music, to go as a musician, to go as an executive, to go as a professional in any sphere, whether it be publishing, whether it be making music, whether it be as a record company, an engineer, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody is there. There are 9,000 people, 90 different countries. What I was talking about earlier was the trade show, the conferences, the concerts, the MidemNet Forum, and the Midem World. I'll just give you a little bit of an idea what they are. Obviously, the trade shows, their booths, they're something like 57 different national pavilions are exhibiting at Midem. There are probably, 90 countries, but 4,500 different separate companies are actually at Midem. You've got the trade show aspect. The conferences are really spectacular. There are panels absolutely focusing on every aspect of the music business. There's some great panelists, and there's some really strong opportunities to network and to have mentoring sessions and breakout sessions as well at those conferences. The concerts are very important. It's a festival atmosphere. Over the past couple of years, of course, the music industry has changed. For the 75 years, nothing changed, and now it's changing on a daily basis. So Midem has realized that there's a very, very strong aspect to live music. Over the past couple of years, we focused on that. So there's a lot of artist managers, a lot of concert promoters, a lot of booking agencies, a lot of venues, a lot of festivals all over the world are actually at Midem. And there's music which starts at about 10 o'clock in the morning and probably ends at about 7 o'clock the next morning. Amy Winehouse, as an example, did her first gig outside of London at Midem 2 years ago. There is a tremendous pool of talent, and I'm sure a lot of it's going to come from New Orleans. On the Midem World, that over there is probably one of the most important tools you can get. It is the database. It's a communication tool. It's a social networking tool. It's something which you should really work on once you're registered to get into the whole aspect of it and to set your appointments and to find out who's who in the zoo. On the MidemNet Forum, I was actually speaking to Sandy a little while ago. Sandy was there at the very, very first MidemNet Forum. That is the strongest and probably the most important digital forum in the world of music on the planet today. 10 years ago, when Sandy was at the very first one, there were maybe 4 or 5 people in the room. Today, it takes over the main auditorium. It's probably booked out before Midem is. It's a 2-day intensive session of everything to do with digital entertainment. So there you have it. Just to give you a highlight of this, 4,500 companies, 88 countries, actually 90 countries now. There's a huge pool of journalists from all over the world. Excuse me, there's an enormous amount of media. They have a Midem News, which comes out every morning. They have the Midem guide, which stays on your desk all year round, and they have upwards of 9,000, probably probably 10,000 participants at the moment. This just gives you a breakdown on the countries and the territories that are there, obviously from a global perspective. America, the US, is the second biggest contingent in the world after Western Europe. Of course, being in Cannes, it's easy to get there from Western Europe. The UK, between the UK and Western Europe, France, of course, and America, we probably take care of 70%, 80% of the world. But there are people from all aspects of the world. This year, it's probably going to be Jamaica. Last year, it was China. There's always a main country that exhibits as the sort of the spotlight country of the world. And it's just an amazing spectacle when they put on their opening nights. It's wonderful. The different companies that are there, as you can see, from all aspects, going from the biggest slice of the pie, which is the recording business, of course. Just over the past 10 years, digital music and digital distribution and digital entertainment has taken over the second biggest slice of the pie. See how it's growing by leaps and bounds. Then just normal distribution, physical distribution, publishing. When they say official organization, it would be people like South by Southwest, perhaps Loyola University, organizations that come to Midem that aren't exactly professional recording companies or anything like that. Another big aspect of the industry right now is imaging and branding, product placement, sponsorship, endorsement, all that kind of stuff, which falls under that, images and branding. Then, of course, artist management, live, and naturally law firms and lawyers, as we love them all, make everything actually come together, formalize all the different negotiations. Every single genre just about is presented and represented in Midem. From everything there are certain, for example, on the jazz and blues and the R&B and hip-hop and urban and the classical, that's one of the few festivals in the world where they all have their own different divisions. There's like an urban village, there's a classical music section, and so every single form of music is presented there and represented very, very heavily. Electronica is becoming a major, major slice of the pie at the moment, and of course dance as well. The trade show aspect of it, obviously it gives you the visibility of having a booth. It gives you some kind of a destination for the people to come to, instead of trying to meet people in the lobbies of the hotels and the foyers and the big space of Midem. It's the Palais, actually. The Palais of Midem is the festival Palais. Is the same. You've probably seen it on the TV when they have the film festival. It's that sort of that big carpet that they walk up into, that beautiful sort of backdrop. Well, that's the Palais in Midem, and it's absolutely covered with booths. So once you get a location that you need, what we do is at Midem is we give you all the technical services and all the support that you could possibly need to make sure that your stay at Midem as an exhibitor is maximized. The conferences I was talking to you earlier about, image and branding is a big one now, live, of course. We have artist discovery and development, artist management, publishing, independent record companies. Independent record companies probably take up about 90% of the labels at Midem. The majors are there, but they're not really on the floor. They're probably in the suites upstairs. They use Midem more as a sort of a meeting place for their staff and for their management team, and to maybe highlight one of their two acts. So if you're looking to sign an act, or if you're looking to represent a major label, Midem is probably not the right place to go. You probably have to meet those labels in their own space. But it's a very, very big area for independent music. There's an organization in the States called A2IM, which is the Association of Independent Music. They took a pavilion there about 3 or 4 years ago. And in the last 2 years, I think they've expanded it about 6 times. So it's a driving force in music, as you probably know. With the formats of the panels, they have the keynotes, they have the breaking out sessions, they have these incredible mentoring sessions where you can speak to whoever, the guy who's head of Napster at the moment, or the person who's head of Real TV, whoever you want to speak to. If you just go into the Midem world soon enough, you can find yourself face to face for 5 or 10 minutes with some of the most influential minds in the entertainment business at the moment. This is the Midem Net Forum I was telling you about. It's 2 days, 76 international experts, huge participants, sorry. And as I say, the 11 mentors sharing their expertise. It's really, this is the 2 days before Midem. This starts on the 17th and 18th of January. So if you are coming to Midem for the Midem experience, especially with the way things are going right now in the entertainment industry, I urge you to take in the Midem Net experience as well, because that's probably going to be a biggest learning curve. All the innovative ideas, all the new avenues of digital distribution, of digital promotion, are all discussed right there at Midem Net. Concerts, wonderful. As I was saying, it was just for the last year, they built this incredible sort of like Cirque du Soleil type tent right outside the Palais. And it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it goes right through until midnight, outside, actually, at Midem. And then in lots of different areas. It's not exactly like South by Southwest. I'm sure you've all been to South by Southwest or you've heard about it. It's really a live music entertainment conference where there are probably 1,000 bands. This is a little bit more select. It's more of a business atmosphere. But the bands that are there don't have to be signed. They can be unsigned bands. They're the next up-and-coming big artists in all forms of music. So it's really fantastic. They have the NRG Music Awards on the first night of Midem. The Midem Classical Awards, it's the only international classical award show on the planet. Very prestigious and very well attended. The Midem Night opening party is an amazing event. I mean, everybody's there, probably 9,000 people all getting in. And it kicks off the whole Midem week. And of course, the closing party when they have oxygen tents and stretchers. I'm only kidding. In terms of the visibility, there are different ways to get your message across. This is on the advertising side. There'll be banners, of course, the Midem Guide, the Midem Forum, the press conferences. They have cocktail parties. They have lunches, sponsored lunches, dinners, private events. So once you get into the Midem program, there are umpteen opportunities for you to network on all different levels, from every, from the sort of the top guy, the Minister of Culture for France is there, to a guy who's just arrived, from, wherever, Bangladesh. It's a fantastic opportunity. Midem World, I was telling you about the online network. If you can actually see it just by going onto midem.com, you can have a look at it. But once you register, that's when it sort of lets you into this Midem World of ours. And that gives you every single, it's done so acutely. You can go country by country, territory by territory, genre by genre, whether it be whatever kind of music, facet of the music industry you're interested in, whether it be the record industry or the publishing side or whatever you need, it's all in this database. This database is 40 years old, 43 years old, and it's probably the best tool that you can have once you start actually getting into Midem. These are just a couple of testimonials of people. I see that Bob Ezrin just yesterday is no longer with Live Nation Recordings. But, Bob Ezrin produced Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, U2. He's just one of the great record producers of all time. He's also a very innovative guy and has developed a lot of technical tools for the studio, etc. Paul McGuinness is of U2's manager, wonderful guy. He made some real splash at Midem this year by talking about downloads, etc. You may have read about that in the trades. The Orchard is probably the biggest aggregator in the world, digital aggregator. So just a bunch of guys who've been there over the years, and their ideas of what Midem has meant to them. Ken is a top attorney out of Los Angeles. He represents some of the major R&B and urban artists, etc. From all over the place, and it's obviously very, very, very productive for them. These are some of the sponsors that we have, just from all over all walks of the industry. Gibson is a major, major presence there. EMI Music Publishers is the only major publishing company that's actually a sponsor at the moment. Sonic Bids is a tremendous. I don't know if you're familiar with Sonic Bids, but are you familiar with Sonic Bids at all? No. Sonic Bids is probably like a filter. If you want to appear, if you have a band who wants to appear at Midem, you go onto the website. They'll put you through Sonic Bids. Sonic Bids is it's like a sort of an independent A&R-driven online company, and you send off your EPK or your music, and they start filtering it down and eventually the Midem selection committee in Paris make the choices. But it's a really interesting website. If anybody's an independent artist or a performer, you should go into the Sonic Bids website and have a look. Post your EPK, because they'll send you, I think it's like $10 a month, they'll send you opportunities for performance or soundtrack placement, all this kind of good stuff is through Sonic Bids. All right, so that was just a sort of a tour through Midem very, very quickly. And I'm going to just give you an idea of what Midem is actually like on the floor by playing this little video. Let's find it here. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I'll give up. Good? Help? Thanks, mate. I pushed the wrong button. Perfect. Thanks, mate. So.
Knowledge is power, and key contacts help you obtain exclusive knowledge and use that power. Midem, the world's music market, offers you access to key international professionals from every sector in the business. So join the global industry community to think louder this year. Meet the sectors, the new territories and channels which are driving the new music business globally. This January, join 9,500 key professionals from 91 countries for 5 days of high-level meetings, concerts, and unparalleled conferences at Midem. 9,500 participants, 91 countries. Midem is where all the sectors involved in the business of music come together to explore new possibilities for the coming years. Over 5 days, you will meet the key players across the industry. Recording and publishing, A&R, live music, music and image, digital and mobile, branded entertainment. Midem welcomes professionals from every single genre: pop, dance, rock, urban, jazz, electronic, classical, world, metal, soundtracks. Focus your attention particularly on classical and jazz, and electronic and urban with dedicated areas for these genres. The Midem Suites, for the ultimate in comfort and privacy, a sea view Midem suite lets you greet visitors with all the luxury of a full VIP service. The VIP Club. This exclusive club is where VIPs can retire to relax or discuss business in private surroundings. It offers telephone service, refreshments, and an attentive professional staff. 223 world experts and 66 sessions. To keep you ahead of the game, Midem offers a program of conferences, panels, and workshops that cover the major issues facing the business: music and image, live music, A&R, indies, but also brands and artist management. What's more, the conferences feature ample opportunities to network with and get hands-on advice from qualified specialists. Panels, workshops, masterclasses, and listening sessions. Get the chance to play your material face-to-face with the most influential music supervisors in the film and game industries. Digital is driving the music business forward, and Midem Forum brings you an invaluable update on this side of the industry. Over 2 days, you will listen to and interact with key international players and leave armed with the essential knowledge and context to succeed in this fast-moving new business landscape. Tough questions? Get your own mentor. This is your opportunity to meet world-renowned specialists in one-on-one mentoring sessions. A large part of the music business is built around the thriving live sector. Midem presents bands from across the world in a broad range of live events. Network with your peers at the dedicated live music conferences. Discover more than 300 artists from over 30 countries and promote your own talent on specific stages. Midem services are specifically designed to help you build a
Okay, obviously 2009, obviously, which is 17th to the 22nd of January. So I hope I didn't go too quickly through this presentation. There's a lot to talk about. And now that we've kind of seen a background of what Midem is actually all about, and how influential it is and how productive it could be, I would like to just take some questions from you guys and let you just throw some stuff at me and see what we can come up with. Any questions at all? Good. How Midem grew from what it was to what it is. Sure. Midem started in Cannes with a bunch of maybe 4 or 5 guys sitting around in a little room. They actually had a meeting, and they said, this is crazy. I mean, we should try and get something bigger. And so it started off with a few record companies. It started off in a very, very small venue. And over the years, it became more of an international event. First of all, it was just France originally, and then it was just Europe. Then finally, it turned out to be an international event. Mostly, in those days, it was mostly record business and publishing. Those were the 2 stalwarts of the industry in those days. It's 43 years old. When Napster came about, everybody was terrified. There was a kind of a definite drop-off in Midem attendance and Midem sort of focus, because everybody was terrified. Nobody knew exactly what was going to happen with this digital world. So about 3 or 4 years there, nothing happened. Everybody was scared. They weren't sure where the revenue was coming from. And unfortunately, the record business looked upon it as a threat rather than an opportunity. Suddenly, iTunes came along. And even though iTunes wasn't available outside of America, it became a revenue source. And so the whole thing took off again about maybe 8 or maybe 10 years ago to Midem Net. But it was just it really was an opportunity for the whole industry to get together in one particular spot. Cannes is well known because of the film festival. It's a beautiful place to be. It's in January, so it's not in the height of the season. And it's not all that expensive, actually, when you think about what you can get out of it. So it's an extremely well-run organization. But it just grew organically initially, and then it became part of, Reed Midem, actually, which is the company that owns Midem, is the biggest trade show company in the world. This Midem is just one of the 5 or 6 major events that they put on. So although it's called Reed Midem, it's because Midem is probably the most sexy. But they have MIPCOM, which is a television trade show. They have MIPED, which is for film programming, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just it locked onto this bigger organization. Organic growth, and necessary organic growth. Voila. Anybody else? Maggie.
I'll make a comment.
Thank you.
I just want to make a comment and let y'all know something that give like a personal testimony, I guess, about Midem. And I'm Maggie Warwick. I'm having trouble here finding my height to fit. I know what, I'll just take this off. I'm not too short enough, and I'm not too tall enough. Anyway, I just want to say what a wonderful occasion it is for us to come and be here in this class. And visit and see Paul's presentation of this wonderful organization. And I can't say enough about John Snyder and how he has created this great opportunity for music industry education here in New Orleans, here at Loyola. It's a very special opportunity for everybody. I have been in the music business since I was 15. And I started out in West Texas, had a little band in high school, and went on to Nashville and worked in Nashville many, many years. And so I've worked in the music industry as a songwriter and publishing and production and, you know, all of the things that we love, recording and anything that creates music products. And what you have here in this program, and having John Snyder here in New Orleans leading this educational program for you to learn how to create music products in Louisiana, is a wonderful thing. And we just know that all of you are going to have great careers, and we look forward to great activities and production through the years to know all of you. And I just wanted to thank Paul for coming and giving this presentation. My husband and I actually went to Midem last year for the first time. And we were just overwhelmed. All of these pictures and films and all of the presentations are true and then some. If you magnify everything that you see here, you'll know what Midem is. It's a wonderful gathering of music people from all over the world. And we actually got to visit with U2's manager. He was a keynote speaker there. And not being shy, I actually went up and talked to him. So he's a really nice guy from Ireland and had wonderful information for the people. A lot of students were there, a lot of information that you would learn at Midem that actually you couldn't learn anywhere else because of the people that attend. Many, many people from America were there that we met from all parts of the country. It was just a wonderful experience, and it's something that highlights music all over the world. And we are planning to take Louisiana music to Midem this next January. So working with Paul and all of the people here at Loyola and in Shreveport-Bossier and in Baton Rouge with the Louisiana Economic Development. So we're working to bring Louisiana music into global prominence, and we want all of you to have a big part in all of this. Thank you all, and thank you, Paul. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Maggie. Thank you.